David Bahnsen joins me now. David, this is the week of that big Fed confab in Jackson Hole. How do you think Powell is going to react to last week's inflation numbers? They were a bit divided. The CPI number was less than expected, but then you had the PPI number that shocked to the upside. What do you think Powell's going to make of all that?
Well, I think what he's going to do is use Jackson Hole to message that they're absolutely cutting in September, but then not use Jackson Hole to message what they're doing afterwards. And markets are probably more interested in what they're doing after September than at the September meeting. I mean, we're up to almost 100% odds, David, that they're going to be cutting 1/4 point in September. But I will say this, after the CPI report last week, the odds got to over 50% that by December there will be 3 rate cuts. After the PPI on Thursday, it came down to about 35%. We're going to get 2 to 3 rate cuts, and I think it'll end up being 3, but I don't think Powell's going to show all those cards in Jackson Hole.
Another one for you, which is E.J. Antoni. He was nominated to be the next BLS chief. Of course, BLS has made a mess with a lot of the jobs numbers over the past few years. Some of it you can put on the pandemic, but some of it was put on the BLS chief. They not only do jobs numbers, they also do inflation numbers, the CPI. And I'm wondering if you're at all concerned about EJ's dealings with the inflation numbers that the BLS may come out with.
Well, look, I do not believe that these numbers have been politicized. I believe that they're hard to collect and that they have not kept up with technology, that there's better things that can be done for the survey data. My problem with the CPI number is not the people collecting it. It's the ridiculous idea of 40% of that number being from shelter with a very significant lag in how they count rent. So I'm getting in the weeds, but it's just simply that I think the thing they're trying to do is somewhat problematic, and I don't really care who the people are working at the desks doing it. I like the PCE number better, which is, by the way, what the Fed uses to look at inflation too. So there's a lot to say on the data, but the fact of the matter is, David, we have multiple ways we can get this data. There's ADP, there's the household survey, there's the weekly jobless claims. We have plenty of different resources to go to. Hopefully, they'll continue to make improvements in what the data shows.
Let us start now with Novo Nordisk heading higher this morning after they received FDA approval to use their weight loss drug Wegovy as a treatment for the liver disease known as MASH. David Bahnsen, come on back in. By the way, we do have Dr. Siegel to talk about the scientific aspect of all this, but it seems that there's no end for the use of these drugs.
Well, we'll see about that. They have not gotten approval for a lot of the things that were hyped a couple of years ago, and you can see the stock has just gotten absolutely pummeled. And so I think that you're better to talk to Dr. Siegel about some of the scientific aspect. The liver thing is interesting, but again, this is a very speculative play on how much revenue growth you can get from things in the future, and people who've owned the stock the last year or so have gotten really hit.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to take a look at solar stocks, if we can put that on the board. And they're all in the green right now. The Trump administration recently unveiled stricter rules for companies to qualify for green energy subsidies. Do any of the solar stocks interest you at all, David?
No, nor does any government subsidy for any private company. So that includes solar, that includes green, and by the way, it includes Intel and NVIDIA as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, you didn't include them, but I assume the same is true for the windmill companies also. Bitcoin is down this morning. It's nearly back below the $115,000 per coin mark. It's not good for the crypto plays. They're all following Bitcoin a little bit lower with the exception of Riot Blockchain. Is there ever a point where you would consider getting in on crypto, David?
No, there is not, ever.
Wow.
But I could elaborate sometime if you'd like.
Well,
no,
a little bit of elaboration right now. Why?
Because we cannot make heads or tails as to why it would go up or down, nor can anyone who owns it. That doesn't mean it can't go up. It's gone up a ton. It can go up further. It could drop further. But there's no way to value it. It is entirely speculative. And if people knew how much of this was a byproduct of borrowed money, how much leverage there is in it, they'd be horrified.
And I assume it's not a flight to safety stock for you. Do you go to gold in that area?
No, we consider flight to safety to be treasury bills and cash. And,
Gotcha.
and again, gold has got different reasons people might buy it, particularly central banks. But for us, we're dividend growth investors, David.
Gotcha.